Debra CoCo, and welcome to the Just Gimme the Mic show, where we pass the mic so you can tell the world who you are and what it is that you do. Welcome. Check us out every Sunday night at 10 p.m. on Burnside Channel 68, and look for us on YouTube.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Just Gimme the Mic show. I am your host, Debra CoCo. I have a great show lined up for you tonight. For my first guest is going to be Jamoneisha Merritt and her mom, Ebony. They will be coming out to tell us about what happened. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the story that happened in the news here in the summer, but you will learn all about it today. It was a tragedy that took place, and we're here to tell you an update on what's going on with that situation. And we also have Shefik in the building. He will be telling us about what's going on with him. He has so many things happening with him, so many new ventures, and he's doing a lot. So stay tuned, don't go nowhere. We have a great show lined up for you today. I'm Debra CoCo, and we'll be right back.
Our new friend, Jamoneisha Merritt. She's 11 years old. She just got out of the hospital after spending 11 days there recovering from severe burns. She was at a friend's house a few weeks ago when her friend poured boiling water on her face.
She still has a long way to go on the path to recovery as she was left with burns over 85% of her face, but she has made a remarkable recovery so far. And this morning we're joined by Jamoni, her mother Ebony, and their attorney Paul Prestia. Thank you all so much for being with us this morning. Good morning. So Jamoni, let's start with you. Take us back to that night, the sleepover. What happened that night?
When we was dancing and stuff, I got tired and I was on the couch, about to fall asleep, but they was like, oh, don't go to sleep or you get pranked. When I went to sleep, all I just felt was hot water.
So you woke up to the feeling of hot water being poured on you. What did that feel like?
Hot water just boiled, and I was just screaming and yelling.
Juvonni, we saw the pictures of you in the hospital. They were tough, and you really suffered. These people, the other girls, there were three of them actually, and Ebony, I'll ask you, it wasn't one person who did this, it was multiple people?
Yes, it was. It was three girls that was involved, and the mother played a part.
Mother played a part, how so?
Because after the girls threw the hot water on her, the mother put ice on her. I guess she thought she was helping, and then they removed all her clothes and threw her in a cold shower, which gave her a state of shock. She was burnt there for about an hour and a half before they even called EMS trying to cover up their tracks.
The mother of this girl who did this has spoken out publicly saying this was a prank gone wrong, it was just a mistake. What do you have to say to that mother? Well,
I know that it wasn't a prank gone wrong. Her daughter confessed it that she did it before with hot water from the faucet. She didn't like the results, so this time she wanted to boil it when she seen the hot water challenge.
This hot water challenge that a lot of us had not heard of until this incident. Paul Prestia, you're the attorney. You think that YouTube might have some responsibility here?
Oh, absolutely, Greg. YouTube has a responsibility to its millions of young, impressionable viewers to filter its content so that this doesn't happen. And in fact, it happened. An 8-year-old girl died in Florida about a week before this happened from a similar type of challenge.
The hot water challenge, by the way, I mean, like we all heard about the cold water challenge a couple years ago. That was kind of fun. It was for a good cause. And this hot water challenge, tell us about what you know of it.
Well, it's dangerous, first of all, Greg. And, you know, if you filter your phone, this will still come up. So these young, where does a 12-year-old girl get an idea like this for a prank or whatever it was? It was an act of bullying, which was really a crime. But YouTube has a social, and I would even argue a legal responsibility to filter that content, especially when they know that this has happened already. They had notice.
Jamoni, have you heard from any of the girls who were there that night? Have any of them apologized to you for what happened?
No.
How does it make you feel to know that they haven't reached out?
It made me feel sad.
Now these three girls, you mentioned bullying. Were they friends of yours? I mean, it was a sleepover, so I imagine that you were friends before all this happened, right?
Yeah.
Were they picking on you too much or anything like that before this happened?
Yes.
They were.
Called me fat and stuff like that.
Did you want to go home?
No, because then the mom told the girl that stop bullying her, and then, or else she gonna get beat.
How are you feeling now, Jamoni? I know we still got a little ways to go. I understand school, which starts pretty soon, you're not going to go initially, and you're about to start which grade? 7th grade. Ebony, what's the plan?
I'm looking into homeschooling right now for her. I don't really want to go into a school setting right now.
Ebony, what has it been like for you as a mom to watch your daughter go through this?
It is very emotional, disturbing. You know, I'm so glad she's in good spirit. That's what keeps me going. All the love that I get from all over the world, and we take it just one day at a time.
All over the world, by the way. Looking at this Bronx family, and there is a couple of things we want to promote here. Number one, there is a GoFundMe page because the medical expenses are going to be, well, they're going to pile up. And if you want to support Jamoni, you can, and her mom, Ebony. Go to this GoFundMe page. There's the information. Also, there is a special block party, I believe, tomorrow night in the Bronx. Tell us about that, please.
We're having the Stop the Violence anti-bullying awareness event. She's performing, and she's in a fashion show. Just for good cause, want to give back, you know, get involved with the community and let them know that this is not right, that no one should ever be harmed by a vicious act like this.
Now
it's amazing.
I think one person.
Amazing.
It's beautiful that you guys are still strong, and Jamoni, you look a lot better than you did. We know you're going to make a full recovery, right? All right. So someone's been charged here. A 12-year-old girl. Paul, what do you know?
Well, the 12-year-old girl who actually did this to her, poured the boiling water on her, was charged as a juvenile. But of course, there's more justice for these scars, and we're hoping. Well, we're gonna make sure that there's a thorough investigation done, and anyone involved, juvenile, child, juvenile, or adult, be held responsible.
We've heard reports that 12-year-old girl feels very, very badly about what happened.
Of course.
Yeah. Ebony, you're skeptical?
Well, I'm sorry, but I think more or less it's like a cover with the mom. I don't really think that, you know, the mother contacted y'all, so she wanted y'all to hear her story. She wanted to get it out there evidently, but it's all a cover up. I just need them to be responsible. That girl stayed burned for an hour and a half before you wanted to call EMS.
It was vicious, Greg.
Sure.
Of course she feels bad now.
Jamoni, you spent 11 days in the hospital. You're now out. You're making a recovery. How have you been able to remain positive through all of this?
I feel good, and that I'm home already because I just feel good and great and stuff like that.
And you're excited to get back to doing the things you like to do?
Yes.
We know you like to dance. We know you like music. What else do you like to do, Jamoni?
Be on my phone.
Be on your phone.
Me too.
You and Rosanna should, she loves to be on her phone. We all do. We're all addicted. Jamoni, thank you so much. Okay, we're pulling for you. Again, folks, if you want to help out here, you can. Let's put that the GoFundMe page up there one more time. And that big block party tomorrow night.
Yes,
Ebony
excited.
Merritt, thank you very much. Jamoni Ashe, thank you. And Paul Prestia, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
I appreciate you all being here. Good.
Hey everybody, we are back. I'm here with my next guest, Jamoneisha Merritt, and her mom, Ebony. They came to join me today to tell me about their story. I don't know if you all recall, but in August of this past summer, it was in the newspaper about a young lady, 11 years old at the time, right?
Yeah.
Went to spend the night with her girlfriends, a little common sleepover with friends, and she was awoken by one of her friends playing a prank on her and putting scalding hot water, which resulted in some serious, right, third and fourth degree burns on her.
85% of her face burned and scald, her chest and her back.
I saw the pictures. It was very traumatic. So I'm so happy that I have the opportunity to sit down and talk to you, because I wanted to hear about your experience, Miss Jamoni. And, you know, how did you feel? Like, tell us a little bit about what happened that night.
My friends told me not to go to sleep or I get pranked. And when I fell asleep, all I felt was hot water poured down on my face, were burns and what's that called, Mom? Bubbles. Blisters on my chest, here, and my face.
Wow. I saw the pictures, like her face looked like it was inflamed. Like
Oh, yeah.
the
Oh, my
bubbles all
God.
around. We're actually going to show some clippings of what I found later on, but they actually told you not to go to sleep? Did you take them serious at the time?
Well, we was coming. No, we was coming.
She said, did you take them serious at the
Did
time?
you
When they
think
said
that-
don't go to sleep, did you think that they was going to do that to you?
No, I didn't think
How
that.
did you fall asleep? What y'all doing before you fell asleep?
But we was dancing.
It was
what
dancing
happened?
and
You
you
got
having a
tired?
good time?
Yeah, and then I was sitting on the couch, and then I fell asleep. But I didn't know what they was gonna do, so all I felt was hot water poured down on my chest and my back and my face.
Oh my God. So what happened after that? When that occurred, did the parents come in the room? What happened to you after, when you woke
She
up
was
screaming
in
from
a
that?
state of shock because, well, what happened was after they had poured in the water on her, the pot of water and a cup of water on her, they removed all her clothes and threw her in a cold shower. So when she got to the hospital, she said shower, but I didn't know where the shower came from because the mother alleged that, her 6-year-old daughter spilled water earlier that day, and her 12-year-old daughter went to go make hot chocolate for her 14-year-old daughter and slipped on the water. And when she slipped on the water, my daughter was sleeping on the couch. That's how she initially got burned, when she had lied,
Yes, that was a lie.
And
So
took
how
off
many
her-
children were involved, actually? How many people were involved in the
It was
sleepover?
3 girls. The 14-year-old girl who she was very cool with. They, what's her name again?
Oh, Malaysia.
No, not Malaysia. Shauna and Jamoni is really
We
good
was
friends.
like this.
And her sister, the 12-year-old, told her sister Shauna what she was gonna do. Shauna didn't stop her or anything. Her and the girl Malaysia decides to laugh, giggle, boil the water together. One held the
Actually,
cup.
boil the water.
Boiled the
Put it
water
on.
together. I think she said they was boiling the water, they was laughing and joking, and Jamoni was sleeping. They stood over top of Jamoni. She had the cup, Malaysia had the pot. Malaysia took the hot water, poured it in the cup. Nala threw the cup of water, Malaysia threw the pot of water on her.
Now, what were the ages of the girls involved? They were all like
12 and 14, 12 and 2 14-year-olds.
So the parent actually came into the room, didn't even notify police right away. It was about 90 minutes before she called the police to come and
I went
check on you.
36 minutes.
To come check on your daughter, right?
Yes.
So during this time, what did they do? Try to put you in the shower? What was going on during this time?
They put me in a cold shower.
So she said she was screaming and yelling. She kept saying it's burning, it's burning, it's burning. They kept telling her you're bugging, you're bugging, you're bugging, you're making too much noise.
And that one time, they didn't call you at this point yet?
No. So when I see my daughter and I laid eyes on my daughter, I looked at the time, it was 5:36 in the morning. The mother came to my door was open. She was crying like, I'm going to jail, your daughter's all burnt up. And I'm like, what do you mean, what happened to my daughter? She alleged with the hot chocolate, she slipped and fell, something like it's an honest accident, you know. So when I come out the door, the police is already there. She's already in EMS. Her face didn't even look half as bad as it looked the time we got to the hospital. Her skin was just bubbling, X, Y, and Z. So I looked at the officer and said, she said it was hot chocolate. I said a couple of hot chocolates like this small, or maybe even this big, you know. And there's no hot chocolate on her clothes at all, like something else happened in that house.
So when did you find out exactly what had happened to your daughter?
It took me literally 3 trips back and forth from the hospital to the Bronx doing my own investigation. My sister from Atlanta called my sister in the Bronx and was like, I heard it was a hot water challenge or whatever the case may be. That's probably what they did to your daughter. So when I went to go get my money and my personal belongings back from my house, I went to the hospital with nothing. I told the mother, I said, can you look on your daughter's Facebook page or Snapchat, because if she shared the hot water challenge, I believe that's what they did to my daughter. She gets up like, oh my God, I asked them, did they pour hot water on that girl? You already know.
You already know.
You already know. So I went and I called the police again. I said, I need to file a complaint because what she alleged happened to my daughter about the hot chocolate, it did not happen. Right. You know, this is exactly what happened to my daughter. The officer says, well, where's your daughter at now? And I said, she's in the hospital. What hospital? I said, Harlem Hospital. She was like, well, we can't file a report without her being here. How we know you're telling the truth? I said, I got pictures. They told me anybody can make our pictures. Long story short, time I got back to the hospital, the officers was there, the same officers that told me they couldn't go to Manhattan with the detectives. And one of the detectives was there. While I was talking to the detective, my sister went to the mother's house and did her own investigation. Got a whole video of the little girl stating that she never liked my daughter. She threw hot water on her a week before from the faucet.
This is the best friend, the 14-year-old,
No,
or this is
the
another
12,
child?
the 12-year-old, the sister. I guess
Okay.
she's jealous of the 14-year-old relation with her.
Okay.
She was like one of them jealous ones. So my sister's recording her and asking them what happened. Like, stop saying it's a hot chocolate. That's not what happened. Y'all already did what y'all did. We need to know what happened.
Right.
So as she's recording her saying this, she's like, I threw hot water on her before. I didn't like the results. So this time when I seen the hot water challenge, I bowled it. I wanted to hurt her. I never liked her.
Now, is this the girl that's actually arrested?
The one that they charged, the 12-year-old.
Now, is she out now, or is she still?
She
where's
was
at right
let
now?
out the same day within 1 hour.
So she's home.
Yes. The officer told me, you're lucky I arrested someone.
So what is happening right now with the case? It's a couple of months later, and thank God your daughter healed. I mean, from me seeing the initial pictures to where she is now, I know it's been a long road, right? A lot of back and forth to the hospital.
Well, she had spent 2 weeks in the hospital. After the 2 weeks she spent in the hospital, she went to the first follow-up. The second follow-up, we don't accept her insurance anymore. So it went from there to me taking to New York Presbyterian, doing emergency visit because they sent her home with open wounds and she had to be treated. So I took her to Columbia Presbyterian. She seen a doctor there. Follow-up visit, we don't accept her insurance no more neither. So I finally got that worked out, but I have her like on a regular doctor.
So she basically healed a lot.
On her own.
Oh my goodness.
On her own. God is amazing on her own.
Yes, yes. So as far as legally, what is happening right now that you can discuss with us?
With this case?
Yes.
Nothing. They are not doing anything for me. They refuse to make an arrest. I'm calling for justice. I need the other two 14-year-old girls that was involved brought to justice. I have Facebook messages that I shared with them because I have the girl account where the girl stating to the other girls said it was on Nana. It wasn't me. I can't go to jail. I gave that to the officers. It was enough to arrest them. The mother's statement that she said it was hot chocolate was enough for her to be arrested. It was 4 adults in that house.
Wow.
They never investigated this case. They falsified the documentation. They gave me the police report as of 3 weeks ago. It took 7 weeks. They told me they couldn't give it to me at first. I went up there with Safe Horizons. They gave it to me. The police officer lied on the police report. He said unknown perp threw water on her, hot boiling water on her, and her friends threw in the shower to ease the pain and the burning. That is not what happened at all. So I said, what happened to the initial report that they had to make 5:36 in the morning when they had to take us to the hospital and that lady said it was hot chocolate? They told me it was scrap paper and nobody keeps nothing like that. I said it has to be a report from when she alleged what first happened, and that officer that was on the scene has to make a report because he had to transfer her to the hospital.
Nothing?
Nothing. There's no paperwork on that.
Do you have has any lawyers reached out to try to help you with this case to represent you?
Well, I reached out to Vanessa Gibson. I've been reaching out from her since the incident with my daughter. She promised me she's going to help me with the mercy transfer because of the amount of money that's in my daughter's GoFundMe account. She's still a target within the neighborhood. And this, like, you know, she have not did that. She promised me that she was going to help me with busing for my daughter. She have not did that. As of the other day, I texted her, I said, thanks for the housing and the busing. It's 3 months later. I'm paying for her to go to 109th Street from 1st and 2nd every day Avenue to 165th and Philly Avenue.
Are these girls still harassing you? Are they still?
They're not there. The mother they let the mother get order of protection against me, I guess. And she went in the shelter and claiming domestic violence. That she's afraid, but they won't help us.
That's ridiculous. Has anybody directed you to speak to anyone else that could try to? Like,
listen, I went to Darcel Clark office.
Okay.
I've been there several times. They avoid me. They do not talk to me. I went to co-counsel and family court with Patricia Bellet. She falsified documentation. They never gave the judge the paperwork. I have videos. They never gave it to them. The police officer got fired off this case, Officer Smith, because they felt like he was biased towards this case because I got compensated several times from this officer, and I also filed a complaint, like I said, on that precinct on August 4th, what we talked about.
Okay, on August 4th you did that.
And they gave it to another officer, detective in the case was Officer Perez. Officer Perez and Detective Smith work together on a daily basis. I'm not going to get no justice. They don't return calls. They not return phone calls. They talk about they still investigating. It's 3 months later. I know a crime was committed. You have all these evidence to do the arrest, and you refuse to do it.
And they actually have. You still have the video recorded of when your sister went to speak with the little girl.
I have the videos. I have the text messages. I have Bettina Bellet. Every time I go into their office, I record these people. So anything that I have to say, I can have it back up in black and white because these people are playing games. My lawyer knows they're playing games. They just refuse to help me.
So what's the
next
step your lawyers want
out.
to take?
We can't. We have to wait until the case is, they said they closed. They're still investigating and they still waiting for Snapchat videos and all this other mess.
Oh my goodness.
But in the meantime of them telling me this, they telling me they want her to make an impasse statement because the girl is going to cop out on December 13th to a misdemeanor and an anger management class. But what about the rest of the girls? What about the mother?
Right. So how do you feel, Jamoni, about, do you still see the girls now or you don't see them anymore?
No, I don't see them anymore either.
So how do you feel now with your friendships and having relationships with people? Do you trust people? Has it affected you in any way like that? Do you notice a change in her personality since then?
She's getting a little out of control. Like, she's got like a, I don't know, her mouth, it's just like she's just been, I don't know how to describe it, but she's getting a little out of control, off the edge. Since this incident, she's starting to act up in school now, so.
Are they recommending therapy or anything? Because that could be something really bad. You trusted your friends, you expected for them to turn around and do something of that nature. I could imagine the impact that it must be having. Besides the scars that we see, like how do we fix what's going on inside if you notice these changes and this difference, you know?
Well, of course we're gonna start with counseling as soon as possible, which should have took place, but like I said, it was an insurance issue or whatever the case may be. And due to the fact that I called for ACS to come to the hospital when this happened, so that way I can get service and the help, they rejected the case. They never came. They rejected the case twice. They never came out to the hospital.
So is your lawyer advising you on who you can go above that to try to get these services that you need?
Well, now that ACS coming to my door every other day and harassing me about some GoFundMe money and talking about she's being abused, you know.
How did that come about?
They alleged that somebody called them and said that my daughter didn't have a whole lot of money and I was taking the money getting high with him. I said it was 5:36 in the afternoon, I was coming in for work and the door was open. And I was like, who's that at my door? They was like, ACS. So the lady came and looked at me. I said, what are you doing at my door? She was like, because I heard you had a burnt little girl in here. She didn't have a whole lot of money, and you taking the money getting drugged with it. Matter of fact, where's your daughter? I said, you came to my door because of what? I swear to God, I chased that lady down the block. By 1:36 in the morning, 6 police officers, 2 ACS workers banging on my door again. And they did it for a whole week straight, and they still coming.
Oh, no.
Just Saturday, I just recorded the fire department, EMS, 2 EMS workers, 4 police officers, 11:30 in the afternoon, no, Thursday, 11:30 at night while my daughter's sleeping. I had to wake her up. I recorded everything. They're in my door, harassing us, won't leave out the door, talking about she's being abused. So I said, let's go wake her up. It's 11:30. She should be sleeping at this time. But this is every day.
This makes no sense. I'm so sorry to hear that you went through all of this. This is very sad because you would think, I'm thinking that the case is moving, the kids were arrested, like all the things that we normally see that happens when situations like this happen.
Not white. She's not white. They don't care. They were sweeping this under the table until I contact the news. I talked with Aisha from Street Corner Resources. She gave me a number. Dean came over. He read the story. That's why I went to Manhattan first, and they still sweeping under the table. They feel like they can't be touched. I feel like the mother should be arrested because it was the concept. It was the way she handled the case after the fact. I do believe when they boiled the water, she was sleeping, but at some time you woke up.
It's a decision
that you made after the fact. It's a decision that you made after the fact. And for you to try to cover up a whole scene, and then when I seen her 2 days later, you still had no regrets and no remorse. She's like, Ebony, I said, you're going to jail, you and your daughter. She said, Ebony, me not going nowhere. I do not sleep at night until I know this lady's behind bars. And I know they can do it, but they won't do it because they biased towards me. It's just that simple.
Well, I hope somebody sees this story and reaches out to help the family. Is there like do you have like a number or go anywhere that they can reach out to if anybody wants to provide any type of assistance?
My Facebook page is not private, it's open. I mean, I always inbox people back. You can send me private messages. I don't have to be a friend.
So it's Ebony, where do they go?
Ebony Merritt.
Okay.
And I'm on Facebook. She have a GoFundMe account on Jamoneisha Merritt burn victims.
Yes,
and
okay.
That's about it.
My Facebook is...
You ain't taking no friend requests no more because we tried to, let her interact with other kids and people, because they was like feeling sorry for her. And the next thing you know, the pedophiles start coming through the box.
No,
so
that's not.
we
That's
can't
not
do
what
that,
you
so we're
want.
gonna leave that privately.
Well, I just want to say, Jamoni, I know it was a terrible thing, and I just hope that everything turns out okay for you, and I hope that you still have good friendships and move forward, and
Show them what you're doing after the fact. Show them how you still smiling. Go
I
ahead,
love
Millie
the
rock
smile.
for
Look at
Millie
the
rock
smile.
for
Oh my God. Well, thank you so much for joining me on the show, and I wish you the best. Please keep me posted. Yes, I'm going to put that up on the show when we air it. We'll be back with our next guest, everyone. Thank you so. I'm like this. I'm still kind of stuck because I can't believe that no progress has been made at all. But we'll talk some more off camera. We'll be right back with our next guest, everyone.
Hi, I'm Sarah Dash. Some of you may know me from the group LaBelle, but I've been solo. I've been solo now for a while. I've had some wonderful singles on my own, and I've had a great history of doing things with Keith Richards and the Rolling Stones. I've been a part of Keith Richards and the Expensive Winos. You may have heard Keith and I sing this wonderful song called Make No Mistake, and Willie Mitchell produced and arranged that song. But I want to talk about some times now, taking you back to a little bit of the history of the group. And again, I'm speaking about before we became LaBelle, we were Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells, and we were four. But one of our singers ran off to the Supremes, and that was Cindy Birdsong. So now we are still here, and we're talking about how we revolutionized our music career. First of all, we recorded a song called Something in the Air / Revolution Will Not Be Televised. That song came about because there were times when we felt that we shouldn't look like all the other females in the industry. We didn't want to have the same gowns and wigs and shoes anymore. And me being the shortest one, I was so happy because some of those dresses just didn't fit me right. But anyway, getting back to the revolution and Something in the Air, well, it was a time that change had to be made. There was a time when it was necessary for change to be made. And we felt that we were the ones who were going to make that change. And that did happen. Something in the Air was like, what are they doing over in London? Because that's where we went to make our change. Something's in the air. And then, we're coming back to revolutionize the music industry with 3 Black women. And that was not only affecting the music, but it was also a time where America was being affected. They come out of the civil rights movement. There were changes in the government. And now we're facing a revolution again. Our Congress needs to be revolutionized. Our spirits need to be revolutionized, because you think that the presidency is the only important election. You've got to elect those Congress people in between. Those are where the votes really count. But getting back to the revolution, there are people in the streets now because they're tired of police officers killing Black men. And I might add that Black men are not the only ones being killed. There are women being killed by our law officers too. Not to say that all of them are bad, because I have some in my family. But the revolution now is about the mind being clear about your human rights, what you need to do to enhance and to upgrade your way of thinking for America, for the world. And it's a spiritual trip too, because, You know, there's been revolutions throughout the biblical times. We know about David's life. We know about Peter being a cusser. We know about Moses. And we know about, you know, the ark. That was a revolution. But today, 2016 or 2000 period, the revolution will not be televised. Why? Because they're going to tear down the channels. They're going to tear down everything. But there is something in the air. And I hope we can do the right thing and clear the air.
Hey everybody, we are back. I'm here with my third guest for the show, Shefik. He is here joining me today to let me know what's going on in his career. He has a long, lengthy career, won many, many awards within the entertainment industry. He's worked with MTV, a lot of different artists. He also has his own network programming that he does that's aired in 21 different states. And he's just out here just making such a difference out here interviewing a lot of different people. And I want to thank you for joining me today on the show because I'm definitely interested in how you've grown to where you are today and how you actually got started. So give us a little background information on you.
So actually, I started in 1997, so I'm actually celebrating my 20th year in entertainment business and technology. So actually, I went to school for TV broadcasting, and what happened was I was trying to pursue a career in film. That didn't work out. I didn't
be an actor?
No, actually, behind the scenes, to be a director and producer behind the scenes. I applied for film school. I didn't get accepted in the top schools. So back then, we really didn't have social media back then. We didn't have a digital, platforms. So I figured, let me just try and pursue other avenues. So I actually ended up getting a job at a publicity company. And that was my first job in 1997 professionally. So my first outing, I was working with people like Dionne Warwick. I worked with Isley Brothers, a lot of acts on Island Black music like Drew Hill, SWV, was on RCA. So a lot of, like 50 different artists I worked with. So that gave me a good training ground to work with that and hone my skill set. So after that, I started my own business, and I had a lot of publicity clients after that. So some of my own clients were like Melba Moore and a lot of films and things like that.
What was the name of the business?
All Night Access is the name of the business.
Still today?
Yeah, it's still All Night Access. So actually what happened was the first company name was Night Entities. And then I changed it to All Night Access because I also did a lot of club promotions. And what I did was the name of my list was called All Night Access, and night spelled with a K. So I was doing that as part of like street marketing because, with the notion that I would do something with the name afterwards, I was subliminally feeding people the name. Doing that.
And it fits, so it all kind of works together, right?
Yeah, because every time they go to the club every week, they have to say my company name.
Oh, nice.
So that's street marketing.
Yes, get everybody else to promote for you, right?
Yeah, so it actually helped out. So one of the first clients I did was I worked on a movie, Anger Management, starring Adam Sandler.
Oh, yeah,
and Jack Nicholson was in there. So there was a scene in the movie.
That was a good movie, too.
Yeah.
I love
so
that
if
movie.
you saw it,
I saw it.
There was a scene that they needed to fill up Yankee Stadium. So since I had a very large list, I was like promoting clubs like Tunnel and Webster Hall, Exit, which is not around anymore.
All the popular clubs.
all the large clubs. And I had a large list. So what I did was I went to my list and said, okay, I need extras to be in the stadium. So I had a lot of people to fill it up. Well, I was one of the people. I wasn't the sole person, but I was one of the people. So I got to meet, Adam Sandler. I got to meet Woody Harrelson was in the movie and things like that.
Yeah.
So that was a good training ground to see if the list worked. To really activate them outside of the clubs.
Yeah,
it works. Because everyone wants to be seen. And especially when you go to the clubs, everyone wants to look fabulous. They want to dress up and things like that. So I figured that's a good way to book people as doing extras.
Good.
So after I did that, I kind of segued into technology because then the internet became more like a prevalent media.
So you jumped right on that.
Yeah, I
made it work for you right then as soon as it launched and got popular, right?
Exactly. So I actually started my own website back then, and I started off posting casting notices, modeling, various notices for TV, film, that sort of thing. After that, I started getting a lot of small business clients because everyone started coming up to me and said, well, how did you do this? Well, how do you do that technology? Right. So rather than me telling them how I did it, I was like, okay, well, be a client. I could do it for you, and you could pay me, for that.
Right. I could work for you and customize it and do a nice little package just for you.
Right. Exactly. So then after that, I actually saw an ad in Craigslist of all places.
Right.
It was an ad for Time magazine, and they were looking for someone to head up their technology. They were powered on WordPress at the time, and so I went there, and I did the interview, and the interview was just for a contract position. But after I did the interview, they were so impressed with the work that I did, they ended up offering me a full-time position.
So what did they actually need for you to do at that point? When you answered that ad in Craigslist, what is it that they were looking for?
Well, I could tell you what happened was, I'm sure you're familiar with Google Maps.
Yes.
So the technology behind Google Maps is it's called Ajax, where you could just update the site without reloading the page.
Okay.
They had initiatives where they wanted to start like a travel section, using the maps and things like that and other kind of things. They've had people on their staff already that they sort of failed in that initiative, where they had a large team doing it, and they sort of failed. So a lot of things I was doing already for my small business clients is exactly what they needed for that. So that's why I was able to step in there and actually get the full-time employment right away, because I was already doing it on my own.
So what were you doing, like creating, I know each company had their own demands, their own needs of what they needed for you to do. But what are some of the examples of some things that you would do for some of your clients?
Well, I could tell you some of the things I did. I do websites. I'm a web developer, lead architect, as far as web development, apps and things like that. In terms of Time Magazine, the position that it gave me was technical producer. That was the title that they gave me. So every week in a print edition, they had my name in the masthead and things like that. And my position was very unique, where I was a liaison between the editors and the staff that they have all around the world, and also on the technology side. So I was the only one in a company that had a dual role in both sides.
So you used to do a lot of remote access?
Yeah, a lot of remote things. I had editors and writers all around the world that I used to train, because anytime I used to build technologies for them, I actually had to train them how to use it properly and effectively.
Right.
So I had people in Hong Kong, I had people in Detroit, all over the world. And, sometimes I would go on location, like the location I did, Washington, D.C. Well, I didn't get to go overseas.
Hong Kong?
I didn't get to go overseas.
Okay.
I did go there, like Washington, D.C. Bureau and things like that. But some of the more prevalent work I did over there, it was just coincidence that Obama was running for president that same year. So I was very fortunate. It's like 2008.
I was Washington, D.C. Did you get to meet him?
I didn't get to meet him, but I had writers that I worked with that worked directly with him, and they did the press conferences directly, because he was on the cover a lot of times.
Yes, he was. Actually,
he was the man of the year. So I worked on the website side of that to help announce that. So I knew all that information. So you helped them with the
submissions and everything that they submitted from wherever they was at in a timely manner.
And all that. And actually, for the election coverage itself, I actually built technology to cover the live blog itself.
Oh wow!
So it was like new technology that I built for Time Magazine, and it was like a 6-hour blog, and we use that.
What a skill!
That worked out very well. So I took it a step further. I did produce other coverage, like the Oscars. I produced that for them. I produced the Emmy Awards, Golden Globe Awards, American Idol finale.
Oh yeah, I saw that with the American Idol. What year was that?
That was 2008. So I actually hired a former American Idol finalist on the red carpet. So he was in LA while I was in New York, and we did it simultaneously live, like we're all live. And then I have a writer here in New York at the same time, doing the updates and writing. And then we did a co-partnership with Entertainment Weekly and People Magazine, because they were all sister companies. So they all did a live blog for us, and then the cross collaboration. So that worked very well for that. So.
That's awesome, though, to be a part of that whole movement, putting it all together. So you're behind the scenes, and you was also did you get involved with actually doing interviews, like live interviews for MTV or any of these major networks?
I didn't do any interviews for them for that.
Okay.
All my work is primarily behind the scenes, for that. So you mentioned MTV. I did work at MTV.
I saw that,
MTV World, which is the world division, of that.
And that was behind the scenes.
That was behind the scenes. There was a show that they were producing called Rebel Music.
Okay.
So I was a part of the second season of that, and I think it went straight to Netflix and other digital platforms like that. So.
Wonderful. I mean, I never even thought that digital world. You was really able to just get on board. I mean, that other opportunity didn't open up for you to go to film school, but look what happened after that. You know, that's a pure example. Like if one door closes, look, you know, and another one opens. My goodness, that was awesome.
I had an agenda. That's
you
what
did.
It is. So basically, I figured. And I have a very entrepreneurial mindset, you know, even before I went to college and everything like that.
And how to flip something. And
especially with my background in marketing and publicity, I know how to sell myself, you know, these companies, and I know how to get my foot in the door. So outside of working at MTV and Time Magazine, I worked at, you know, NBC a couple of times. I worked on the Sci-Fi Channel, CNBC. I worked at IBM. I was an employee over there, and even Columbia Law School, a lot of places I worked at, Vimeo, all over.
So what about now? I know you have a production that you're working on now. It's your own. Tell us about that and all these different states it's in. And well, how did you come to the point that you wanted to get in front of the camera? Tell us about that new venture. How did that start up for you?
Well, I've done some stuff in front of the cameras. Like I did do something for MTV, not as part of my work there, but I was part of an MTV show that I was actually in
something besides the Rebel show.
Yeah. There was a video with Jordan Sparks, so we did a video together. That's on MTV. So it's still up there.
I haven't heard her name in a little while, but go ahead. That's something else. Yeah.
So my show is called Shefik Presents Invocation. And what it is, it's a weekly radio show, first and foremost. It's currently broadcast in 21 stations and frequencies around the country. It's on 3 days a week currently, Wednesdays through Fridays.
Nice.
It's different cities, different time slots, but it's the same episode every week.
Okay.
And the premise is that I pick one topic for that given week, and based on that one topic, the guest speaks on something meaningful in their lives. You know, for like 2 or 3 minutes. It's not a live show, but it is broadcast live.
It's audio, like through TV. Yeah.
But I do pre-tape everything, and it's all, you know, tightly edited together. And you know, so the guests, you know, it is a music-based show. So whatever story they tell me, I end up matching it with a song.
Oh, okay.
You know, so when I was building the show, I actually started shooting 9 months before the show aired. So I started
lots of footage by that point.
Yeah. So I started reaching out to people from my past. You know, particularly I reached out to Dionne Warwick. So she was like one of my first guests on the show. She did me that favor to help out. Melba Moore helped me out. You know, things like that. I've gotten Sonny Turner from the Platters on the show. I even had the Crown Prince of Italy, you know, was on the show.
Wow.
So I had some royalty, you know, on there.
Wow.
And also
I would love to get that one. The question that you asked him, you know.
Yeah, but you know, the story about him, you know, he's not in power because Italy doesn't actually have royalty in power.
But the title sounds good.
Yeah, but his grandfather was the last king of Italy.
Oh, wow.
And they got overthrown. So the prince he grew up in exile, and he grew up in Sweden, you know, because of that. So it wasn't until a few years ago that actually he was able to go back to Italy because for the entire he actually lives in LA right now. In Los Angeles. But he was only able to visit the country, you know, a couple of years ago. But for many years, his entire family was in exile because, you know, once you get overthrown,
that's it.
You know, no more royalty.
You, your relatives, everybody's
But if Italy still had royalty, he would be king right now.
Isn't that something?
You know, so he does have the title of crown prince, but he would be officially king if they had power.
Wow, I gotta look up that show. You know. So how do you come up with the questions? Like, is it something that's going on with you, or do you think about the person that you're going to present the question to? Like, how do you you said it's 2-3 minutes that you give them to talk about it. So how do you come up with your questions for them?
Well, it's not really a question that I ask them.
Or a statement.
It's really a topic.
Okay.
I say, here's a topic, you know, such as Revolution was actually the first episode.
Okay.
There's the topic of happiness, which is what the Prince did. There's topics like rain, mathematics, all sorts of
so topics. Simple things that you have them and they relate it how they want to.
So it's really about how the person wants to perceive the topic in their mind. So when I edit the show together, I may have various people from various demographics, various parts of the world, different ages, different creeds, things like that, and it's how they define the topic. And so when you listen to an entire 1-hour episode, you get various viewpoints and perspective about it.
Nice.
You know, so so I think it's interesting, you know, for that. So
so for each guest, you come up with a musical song, like after they explain what it is, how it relates to them, you come up with a song to play for each guest that gives their opinion.
Right. Yeah. So the way I build the show,
I'm trying to see how it's composed.
Yeah. So the way I build the show is that I already know the songs primarily that I'm going to play in the episode.
Okay.
I intentionally don't tell the guest what songs, and I don't even tell them what other guests are in the same episode.
Okay.
Because first of all, I don't want the lyrics of the song to influence what they're going to say.
Right.
And I don't want them to be intimidated if it's a bigger artist or a bigger personality.
Like, oh my God, I'm
Yeah.
going after Dionne Warwick. Like,
Yeah.
I got to come up with something good, right?
Yeah, because I do have independent artists on there, and it's not all music based. I have doctors, politicians, all sorts of people.
All various walks of life, huh?
All,
Okay.
actors.
Great.
But however, in the case of music artists, naturally, sometimes they do know the song because I do want them to particularly talk about that song. So in the case of Dionne Warwick, I do require everyone to do 3 episodes with me.
Okay.
I shoot it all at once. So within the course of like 6 months to a year, I cycle through all that content.
That's a good idea.
Right. So with Dionne Warwick, one of the topics was friendship. So I wanted her to talk about that's what friends are for.
That's what friends are for.
Yeah.
I'm like, she got a song about that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And it's just a coincidence, Melba Moore, they worked together on that song, and on another song that they did, things like that. So I find ways to bring everybody together, 6 degrees of separation.
So how hard or easy was it for you to get your show to be like syndicated, so to speak, in all these different stations?
Well, I don't want to say it's necessarily easy, but I had a plan for it. So I did sign a syndication deal with the company. But there's ups and downs with that, dealing with that. So all the stations that I got right now, I basically got on my own.
Okay.
I pursued that on my own. When I launched, I had 20 stations. It went up to like 23, and then I fluctuated back down to 21. So when I initially launched, I was on 5 days a week, Wednesdays through Sundays. But, through the course of the year, I launched like July 4th, 2016. Through the course of the year, things fluctuated. But I'm still up, overall.
Yeah,
things
good.
like that.
3 days a week is still good.
And the way I do my show is I require everyone to shoot in person with me on video. So I was thinking in the back of my mind is that when I have all these videos outside of social media, I would pursue distribution deals for that.
You sure could, yeah.
So I do have many distribution deals, since then. So one of the deals I have is with Amazon. So I'm currently in the United States, United Kingdom, Germany, and Japan with Amazon. I have also a deal with Fubu TV, if you know Damon John's company.
Didn't he just launch a whole new network recently? I know he had something, but I think like within the past couple of months, right? Isn't there like a whole new network?
Well, this has been out for a few years.
Okay, I seen something recent. I don't know, maybe it was a program or something.
Well, he has different ventures.
Right.
But I had the deal particularly with J. Alexander Martin, who's one of his founders of Fubu itself. So all the founders head up different divisions of Fubu. So J. Alexander heads up the TV division. Damon John ends up the our apparel line. They have another partner that heads up Fubu Radio, things like that.
About the apparel and the Fubu Radio part of it.
Yeah. So that's currently on Fubu TV. They have deals themselves through Dish and Verizon Fios, things like that. So my content is currently on their network.
Nice.
And I also have deals. I just secured another deal with It's Relevant TV. So now I just launched in an additional 20 states.
Oh, wow.
And these are primarily retail locations.
Very good.
So there's doctor's offices. There's even an arena, a Webster's Bank Arena, which is in Connecticut, which is like a 10,000 seat arena. It's all in their concession stands.
And they play it as well.
They're playing there. I'm in Mohegan Sun, in the restaurants in Mohegan Sun.
Wow.
There's
you definitely worked this whole thing to your advantage. Just wonderful. And you've received some awards and accolades along the way. You also have something coming up very soon, the second annual. Tell us about that. The second annual Men of Excellence Awards that's going down on December 16th. So I know you're excited about that. Congratulations,
Yeah, so far since I launched the show, I've won 25 awards.
Wow.
So that's 25 across the radio portion, even the website, and the videos themselves. So my next award I have coming up is in December, as you mentioned. It's the second annual Men of Excellence Awards. So I was actually part of the first annual. I was a guest speaker there because I do speaking engagements and things like that. So this time they're actually honoring me, for that. So there's a lot of dignitaries from the community that's going to be getting the same award, and it's going to be a
wonderful.
At the Brick Center in
So
Brooklyn,
when
New
you
York.
look back over your 25 years,
20 years.
20 years of in the business, how do you feel? Like, is there anything else that you would like to do, or do you feel like you accomplished everything you wanted to do? Like, how do you feel right now about your position?
Well, I mean, there's definitely lots more.
Are you sure there's a lot more? Look, you've done a lot so far. That's wonderful background.
There's a lot more, and I can tell you now for 2018, I'm gearing up to release compilation albums. So I secured a deal with William Goldstein's label. He has a label to The Orchard, which is distributed by Sony.
Okay.
And we have a partnership, for that, and I have a 2-album commitment. So it's going to be a compilation of many of the artists who have been on my show. Dionne Warwick, I have a song from her already that's going to be on there.
Oh, wow.
I've been speaking to the Manhattans, who are going to be on there. I've done a lot of work with them, video work. Sarah Dash, I spoke to her.
Nice.
I even have rock artists on there. And also have, various producers, things like that.
Everything, right.
So it's a compilation album where it's going to be many genres of music, collaborations between many of the artists.
Wonderful.
And I'm going to be doing, spoken word things, over it. Because in the radio show, I actually speak at the beginning and the end of every episode.
Okay.
And then in the middle, I just let everyone else speak. Give them their platform.
Well, now where can we listen to your program, watch your program? How can we tune in?
All right. So you can go to the website, invocation.co.
Okay.
So it's not .com, it's .co. Invocation.co.
Okay.
You can listen to the live broadcast Wednesdays through Fridays, but you have to listen to it actually when it's being broadcast. So it's Wednesdays, 11 p.m. to midnight.
Okay.
Thursdays.
Live on the website that you just
live
gave.
on the website.
Okay.
So these are live streams from other states, but I had the stream, from other states there. So Thursdays it's 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Fridays is 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. And that's all Eastern time. Outside of that, the videos you could just, if you have Amazon Prime, you could just look me up.
Just type in your name?
Just type in my name, pop up. And then, if you happen to be in, the doctor's office, you have to,
Mohegan Sun.
Mohegan Sun.
Right, any of those locations.
Webster's Bank Arena in Connecticut, you see me there.
Okay, great. All right. And again, congratulations on your award. Can anybody just go there? Is it open to the public?
It's open to the public. It's open to the public. They are charging like $100 a ticket.
$100. And it's 6 p.m. to 11?
6 p.m. to 11 at the Brick Center.
647 Fulton Street. So make sure you come out for that.
Yeah, you can get tickets at Eventbrite. So just look them up there. Men of Excellence Awards. Second annual Men of Excellence Awards.
Second annual. Okay. And that's going to be aired also? Do they kind of record the footage? Do they air it on
I think they
Network?
are going to broadcast. I don't know I know they're going to shoot it. They did shoot it last year, so I don't know what they're going to do with it. So.
Well, I'm definitely going to tune into your show. Okay. I like how you put it together, and I want to hear everybody's point of view on the different topics that you throw out to them. And I want to hear from some of these people, Dionne Warwick and a couple of other people that you have
I can tell you,
as your guests.
My current episode I just aired this week. The topic is death.
Ooh.
And I actually had a person convicted of murder. We went to jail for 17 years. Michael Alig.
Wow.
So if you might know him, there was a movie that was done about him, a Party Monster. Yeah, and he actually killed somebody. He was a famous party promoter, club kid, from the 80s.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, so he's out right now, and so he's on the show talking about death because I want to. So that's kind of.
So it aired already, or it's going to air this week?
I released the videos already, but the radio show portion is coming out next week.
Okay, so check that out. I'm definitely going to try to tune in and see if I can catch
the Forbes Technology Council.
Okay.
So actually, really a contributing writer for Forbes.
Nice.
Talk about technology and things like that. So that's coming up, and some of that announcements is coming up. So
are you going to be doing like an article in their upcoming magazines?
It's going to be online, Forbes.com.
Okay, Forbes.com.
Yeah, so I'm part of the Technology Council, so it's like invitation only for leaders in technology. So there's a lot of other business leaders that I'm aligned with now.
So you're going to be like discussing different things within technology, or will people be coming to you for advice? Like how's that going to be set up?
Because sometimes I may do quotes for their other articles about that, because I do a lot of things like that too.
Okay.
And then I write articles about technology and my perspectives on it.
I have to catch that. What do you think is the most hottest thing that's going on right now in technology?
Well, I think that artificial intelligence is very big right now, and virtual realities. There's a lot of new initiatives that's coming out with that. So it's going to be
virtual reality. Where do you think it's going?
Well, it's going to be more in the household, so that's really what they're gearing up for. Apple has a lot of things they're doing for that, especially Facebook and Samsung and people like that. So there's a lot you're going to be seeing with that. I know in the past, the big push a few years ago was with 3D TVs, and they thought that was going to be the big thing. It didn't turn out that way for whatever reason. So hopefully the new initiative with the virtual reality is going to be big. But I
what
think
would that be? So we'll be in our homes and we'll just be like just having regular communications with people in other locations, like we do when we're live.
well, that could be part of it. It's really how you deal with the technology. It's really about wearing the apparatus on your head and being immersed in the experience.
Wow.
So that's how 3D sort of failed, where they thought that people would enjoy doing that in their home, but they realized people don't like to wear the glasses like that.
Right.
So it'd be interesting to see if people are going to even wear bigger, bulkier things.
Right.
You know,
Walk
with
around
that.
in the house with that, you know?
Right.
Isn't that
You know.
something? So it's like, I was going to say the Jetsons. Remember when you was younger, you used to watch the Jetsons and they just press the button and you can order food, they can make, we're moving in that direction.
Well, you can do that right
aren't we?
now with Grubhub and,
I know,
and
right.
Uber Eats and things like that. So I do that a lot.
Isn't that something? Isn't that something where we're going with technology? So we got to look out for that. We're moving into a reality world. Yeah, and what you said, virtual and what else?
Virtual reality, artificial intelligence. IBM is doing a lot of work with that. They actually help out doctors when they do their surgeries and things like that. So they have actually doctors who are overseas, who are actually leaders in their field when they're doing very critical surgeries. So you need to have that expertise of circle of doctors. So they have the virtual reality and artificial intelligence experience.
Where the
right
doctors
there.
could be like they're in the room there giving advice,
Right,
telling
exactly.
other doctors what to do and how to perform surgeries.
Right, and when you have the virtual reality, you could actually immerse yourself in that and act like you're actually there with the surgery, you know, because it's all 3D experiences.
Stay tuned, everybody. Stay tuned. I'm going to be here and I'm going to be someplace else at the same time. I'm going to be hosting and sitting here doing That's just, might as well capitalize off it. I'm going to have 3 bookings in one night and I'm only going to be in one location. How about that, right?
There you go.
That's how it works. Oh, my gosh. Well, thank you for letting us know. We got to keep our eyes and ears open to see what's going to happen with that, you know?
Definitely.
And check you out in Forbes. And when is that going to happen?
So it's already a done deal. So they're in the process of, you know, putting me up on the website.
Okay.
And then I'm working on my first article and things like that. So.
Well, congratulations to all your future ventures. I will be watching and I will stay tuned. And it seems like I can learn some things following you and seeing what's going on and stay abreast of what's happening. Well, thank you so much for your time. And it's been a pleasure.
All right,
I mean, we met before, but it's a pleasure to sit down with you and find out everything that you got going on. I'm very excited. You got me excited. I want to see what you got coming up next, you know?
All right.
Thank you for joining me.
All right,
I
thank you.
appreciate it so
Appreciate it.
much. Shefik, everybody, make sure you support. Look him up on social media. What's your social media as well?
Facebook is Shefik Presents Invocation. That's SHEFIK, and then Presents Invocation. Twitter is Shefik_info. Yes,
All right, check him out. Support. Thank you so much. We'll be back tomorrow. That was an awesome show. I hope you enjoyed all the knowledge and information that was shared today. Make sure you reach out to my guests on the show and show some support. If you can, donate to the fund for Miss Merritt. Also, make sure you go online and find out the link for that. That's on GoFundMe. Make sure you show support for that. And also check out Shefik. He has a lot going on. Check him out in Forbes. Go to his website. Check out some of his syndicated programs that he has up on the website. And also make sure you check us out. Just Give Me the Mic on YouTube. And, you know, we have a couple of events coming up. We have a 16 bars coming up December 9th with Ralph McDaniel's Video Music Box. Also have a showcase coming up First Time Bookers on November 25th. And a lot of events. So make sure you go to Facebook and check out the 6 group pages that we have on there. And let me know if you're an artist and you want to participate in something. And check us out on YouTube. And also, I forgot, justgimmethemic.com, y'all. Go on there. You can check out everything, shows, links to everything that I do. And I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. And check us out each and every week, Sunday, channel 68 on Pay-Per-Vision. Good night. Did I cover everything?
Baby, bring me